And we are a little rusty to the show today. I forgot to put us back on the air. Good job, big guy. Way to suck. Welcome, baby. It's season 3, episode 1 of Rooster Booster time. For those of you that don't know, my name's Scott Ferrara. I'm the big guy. That's Mike the Grand Poobah Perrazini, representing all those up in the Albany Empire area. And this is Rooster Booster time. It's a weekly, well, just about weekly show, especially during the season, about our rugby New York club and the team and the fans and the players and everything we want to talk about. And I'm really excited, to come back this season. I think it's good timing to come back. We have a lot to talk about: name changes, roster changes, tons of stuff. And already our boy Jason Zimmerman. What's up, Jay? Love you, brother. Can't wait to see you. Shouting us out. And real quick, I'm just trying to put this out in the group. There's all these semantics and all these different things I have to do to get us out where we need to get out. But Mike, man, welcome back. How are you, Mo?
I am doing good. Had a very productive, off season. Nice, holiday break, and I'm looking forward to rugby. I'm starving for it. I'm starving for, rugby New York, and we were a little how would I say it? We were a little kind of like left out in the dark at the beginning of the postseason, when everyone was making those signings. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, when's Rooney going to announce the signing? When's Rooney going to announce the signing? When are they going to do it? And then, finally, come Christmas, boom, we get some signings. Thank God. So it's been good to see, some of the old boys coming back and, some new, nice, young, new talent coming in as well.
Absolutely. For those of you watching, we put this on Facebook. We put it on YouTube. Follow us on social media at Rooney Fans. I got to change I think I changed most of it. It's actually at RNY Fans now. I think I got most of it. The Gmail is still at Rooney Fans with a U. I got to figure out how to change that. But text us or hit us up on social media, email us. If you want to come on the show, we'd always love to have people coming on the show. Next week, we should be having a Rooster on the show to kind of kick us off with our player interviews. But before we talk about signings, our buddy Jay saying, he's upset about Hanko leaving Rooney. I want to talk a little bit about the name change and kind of the lore behind everything, because there was some confusion, I know, and people maybe who don't know or they're new fans. They don't realize in 2018 is when Rooney joined the MLR. Even though they weren't playing in the season, they were building their team. They were playing some tune-up games. I got to watch them at college several times. They played an iteration of the Toronto Arrows. At the time, they played a couple of college teams and stuff, but the team name, RUNY, and you'll see it. We're gonna change some of our stuff here with the new logo and the new name change soon. But Rooney, as we love to call him, Rugby United New York, started when James Kennedy wanted a name that would unite the clubs in New York. And the thing about that is, Mike knows, very tribal in New York, right? There's on the field, Nyack and Old Blue and White Plains, they all hate each other, and the Griffins hate this people and the bootleggers hate those people, and this, that, and the other thing. So the whole point was Rugby United New York was to bring the big clubs together, especially the D1 clubs that had the players of the MLR caliber at the time together. So it was united. And they did that, and they showed that in the coaching. Old Blue Nyack coaches, Old Blue Nyack players, White Plains players. You had a whole bunch of players in the New York scene coming together to make us a successful team in 2019. We obviously had a great inaugural season. We go to a semifinal. 2020, we have some big names on the team. That's kind of a lost season. We come back in 2021 again as a united team. And, I think at this point, if you notice our feeder teams being, Old Blue, Nyack, and White Plains, you'll see the guys when they disperse in the offseason, that's where they go. We have united the New York teams. I mean, I think we don't need to express that now. So for those of you wondering, yes, it is RNY Rugby New York. That is the new name. Same colors, still like them, the dark blue and orange. I think it looks suave. They're New York colors, and I think they're quintessential New York. But yeah, I just want to give people a history and kind of a folklore on the name. that's why they were united. It wasn't an homage to soccer. You know, James Kennedy is a rugby player through and through all of his life. You know, I think still playing for Lansdowne, or he was playing for Queens at a certain points, you know, at a 45-year-old age. So it wasn't anything like that. It was trying to literally unite the scene, and they have. I believe Rooney has united that scene. Then speaking of the Rooster moniker, that was self-made by some guys on the team, specifically Luke Hume, our buddy Luke Hume, who retired this season. He's one of the coaches for the Forge, which is the Rooney academy side. It's called the Rooney Forge, or R&Y Forge. He's coaching there. I'm glad to see it. Luke Hume knows about his rugby, you know, so it's a perfect fit in my opinion. Him and Mike Petrie coaching there. But again, about the Rooster thing, earlier iterations of Rooney had more of a Mets colors, where it was more of a lighter blue and an orange, and the old jerseys had like this swatch of orangey stuff near the face. To which Luke Hume once said, "Oh man, we look like a bunch of roosters," and they came up with the whole, you know, roosters head thing, and the moniker kind of stuck. And you know, our buddy Ski once said, "You know, we should call ourselves Rooster Boosters," and we kind of took that and pushed it off as our moniker of what we are as a fan club. And whether that'll stay, I don't know. You know, I think this name change opens up a possibility of maybe getting, you know, a Rugby New York, whatever, Crusaders, whatever they're going to call themselves. I honestly feel like it's going to be one of those fan vote type deals. They've opened themselves up to that. I think it's a great marketing tool, and you know, we'll change the name of the fan club if we have to. We're not beholden to the Roosters. I think while it was natural and came on organically, you know, times they are changing, and we want to be a commercial club, you know, and I don't think the Roosters are as commercially viable in New York City as they could be. But anyway, so those are the story behind the names, Mike. I don't know if you agree with me on any of my thoughts.
No,
on
I think
it,
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think, you know, Roosters always had that, you know, it just worked well, you know, Rooney Roosters. But you know, I think definitely amongst the fans that I talk to, Roosters as a, you know, as a mascot, it's kind of, it didn't elicit, you know, a sense of, you know, fear or you know,
I mean,
anything
but
out of it.
like even in sports right now, the New York Metropolitans, what are you
Yeah.
thinking? Were they going to mug you on the field? Like, I don't know. Like, that doesn't instill fear. The Yankees
Well,
don't
like
instill
it just
fear.
it
Yeah.
just didn't. I don't know. It didn't roll off. It didn't work. You know, Yankees and the Metropolitans. You know, you could say those are, you know, grandfathered in. All right, you know, so
Yeah.
that works fine. But you know, if you're gonna pick a new name, you know, let's be honest. You know, it always works. You know, you can always do it like an animal, but you know, a rooster's. It's
I hear
okay.
you. I hear you.
To be fair, though, you know, the MLR now is known for having just weird mascots when you have, you know, the Austin Giltinis and, you know, or the, you know, the no, sorry, the LA Giltinis and the Austin Gilgronis. So it's,
Yeah, I
you
know.
know,
But our buddy Jazz, who is who works for New York, says you haven't seen a rooster fight. I want to know what her and her husband are doing on
yeah.
weekends, going to cockfighting. Where somewhere deep in Staten Island, there's a cockfighting ring she's going to. But honestly, you know, yeah. But I also think, like, again, if it comes up organically, you know, the Sabercats, I like the name.
Yeah.
Do I think of prehistoric animals when I think of Houston, Texas? I guess the oil fields, you know, there's kind of like maybe that's what they're trying to relay. You know, the sea wolves, you know, are you know, the hunters with the orca mask, you know, that, so it's kind of there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I would have, yeah, I was, there's no
I'm sorry, I'm
rooster
laughing at a
tie-in.
comment. Laughing at
Yeah.
a comment that Jess wrote that I'm not gonna put up, but sorry.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
no rooster tie-in to New York.
yeah.
Like maybe, you know, I think
Well,
they've
there
gone
is.
with, well,
There, I mean,
yeah.
like, you know, I mean, let's be honest. You know, I grew up in New Rochelle, New York, which is rather above the Bronx. You know, I grew up in the you know, the tri-state area, in that city culture, and then I now move up to Carmel, which is only 30 minutes away from where I lived, and I live next to a farm. You know what I mean?
True, true.
Our buddy Jason had the mascot, Ben Foden the Rooster, who unfortunately passed away, and then Jason had to then eat him because that's what you do. But you know, so I mean, like I said, it was organic. It kind of,
Yeah.
it was funny. It worked, and you you bought into it. And now really what the attitude is that like blue collar New York steelworker attitude, and that's why they're
Yeah.
the built for New York moniker is coming through. The iron workers, we do the Rooney Local 23 as our thing, which now I just realized I have to change all the goddamn signs I bought. So I'll have to do that before the first home game of the season. Damn it! I just realized it. Luckily they were easy. They're not
Yeah.
the most expensive thing, but R.I.P.
I definitely feel
Phil and
like,
the
yeah,
Rooster.
they're definitely moving towards that kind of, yeah, that iron worker kind of, golden
Mhm,
age ish of New York, kind of that yeah, that steel worker, that skyscraper kind of mentality.
mhm.
So maybe there's a tie-in there. I certainly would love being, from upstate New York. I would love like an entire New York State tie-in. If
Yeah,
rugby New York could be rugby New York, not just rugby New York City. And maybe
yeah.
that's part of that, maybe because, a lot of the guys in the front office are, foreigners. And when I know what I say, when someone, who's not from the United States asks where I live, and I say Albany, and they go, "Oh, where's that?" And I go, "New York." And they go, "What part of New York City?" And I go, "Not New York City. It's upstate New York." And they
It's
go,
actually the
"Wait, upper."
capital.
Yeah, well, my favorite is they go, "Wait, Upper East Side." I'm like, "Nope." So maybe a tie-in with all of New York would be great. I
Mhm.
think that would definitely get people riled up and jazzed instead of
and
just
I
making it a New York City team.
and I that's what they're looking to do in talks with management and stuff, and they're kind of, and that was James Candy's thing. That's why
Yeah,
they were having those practice matches up in Buffalo at the Buffalo Bills facilities and things like that. So I know it's in the back of their mind, but I also know they want to focus on the games at hand, and get the
absolutely.
best, put everything on the field that they can. Once they get that squared away, then they can think about these other things like expanding into the rest of New York State, which I'm telling you, um, is going to happen. Jason's asking where the home games. If you could tell us, I can't tell you. Not I can't tell you. And then Jazz will be announced soon. It will be announced soon. But yes, so unfortunately we can't disclose that information. Just say get your season tickets right now. They're 35% off the entire season. This is the best deal you're going to get
Yep.
as a season ticket holder. Trust me, you want to get them now. But yeah, I think the name, as long as we don't go do a fan vote of Bodie McBoatface, I think we'll be in the clear. Free
Yeah, that was
jacks. I mean, what rugby ATL is the official thing the Rattlers, or is that just like their moniker? It's
true. Yeah, but I don't know. They've embraced the Rattler,
yeah.
moniker, and they've
Mhm,
they've made that part of their logo now.
mhm.
I think it was always funny because when you'd go on like, the Major League Rugby subreddit, it was always like, who's got the worst name? And, Rooney was, who's got the worst mascot? And Rooney
Yeah.
was, perpetually down at the bottom. But then, thank God for, Adam Gilchrist and his two teams, because at least we were a little bit better than a guy who, named two rugby teams after himself. But
Hey,
what he's doing for rugby is amazing. What he's done in LA is amazing. So I won't take that away from him. But yeah, it was always like, LA and Austin. What are you doing with those names? But hey, if it works, it works.
listen, he's growing the game one team at a time, Mr. Gilchrist. So I can't really complain about that. Without him, there wouldn't be the Western Conference wouldn't have those two teams. So I
Yeah.
can't honestly. Me personally, I'll deal with, like, me. I've always said it was bullshit. It's listen, go on the field, play the game, and win. And the Giltinis did just that. AGs were coming around in the first half of the season until injuries happened. And it was a complete turnaround from their previous two seasons. So I'm just
Yeah.
saying, it's sometimes it's not about the
Yeah.
name, it's about the product.
Yeah, a name isn't a problem until you're a bad team, and then a name
Yeah.
just becomes part of the problems. If you're,
Mhm,
if you're a good team on the field, everyone will kind of they'll give you shit for your name, but they don't
mhm.
really care because you back it up with W's. So
Yeah, definitely. No, I mean, and that's, listen, just what's the Raiders? God, Rich Davis. Rich Davis? No, Mark Davis is the son. What the hell was his father's name anyway? Just win, baby. That was their
yeah,
thing. That's all that matters. Just let's win. So let's talk about some of the signings here. You want to talk about people who've departed, people who are coming? What do you want to talk about, Mike?
We could do a little bit of both. I'm going to talk about some guys that I'm happy to see
Mhm.
uh, come back. Maybe I'll mention three guys that I'm happy to see come back, and three maybe new guys that I'm looking forward to see. Um, so the three guys, besides the obvious guys, I think the three guys that I'm really, we could say, yeah, Andy Ellis. I'm happy about Andy, Nate, and Dylan. Boom, that's my three. But I'm really happy to see Ben Benasso come back.
Mhm.
He finally got that call up to USA Eagles. That's just another Eagle that's added to Rooney. It's great. He's improved as a player. He's getting getting better, getting better, getting better. You definitely see that beginning of the year compared to the end of the year. So I was incredibly happy to see that. I'm incredibly happy to see Wilton Rabolo come back. That's another guy who as time went on, he was a standout, and
Mhm.
he's going to make a great backup for Dylan Fawcett. We're improving and improving, and you could see he's putting the effort. He's working hard. And then the third is Connor McManus. I'm happy to see Connor McManus come back. Uh, he was a nice backup to
Mhm.
Andy, but hopefully, he moves forward from there, and you know, he could become maybe the starting nine at some points, and maybe Andy moves to 10. Who knows? So I'd
Mhm.
love to see Connor, get a few more starts in this season.
Yeah. I mean, I like those three. I would say you're talking about the three guys. You're everybody's happy to see back. Nate one being one of them. I have a feeling
Yeah.
with the guy I'm going to talk about, Charlie Hewitt coming back. Charlie Hewitt, another potential Eagle. He was playing for the under 23 team this past season. But when you have guys like Nick and Nate, and God, who am I thinking of? Greg Peterson. It's hard to break into those in the Eagles squad last year. I'm thinking, depending on what comes out as far as the schedule this year, he might have an opportunity to play as an Eagle. So that might be another Eagle added to the Rooney squad, depending on that. But he's a guy I like to see coming back. Great potential. Um, Fossey and Appy are my next two. I mean, how do you not love
Yep.
to watch those guys play? Um, you know, they can play sevens, they can play 15s, they can. I mean, Appy was just a tackling machine last year. We talk about Will Leonard, who unfortunately departed for Rooney and is down with the ATL. Um, Appy did pick up the slack when he needed to be there. Fossey too, played lights out in 3 or 4 matches this season. Where if he didn't play the way he played, I don't know if he would win. So bringing those two guys back and honestly, like think about it, Appy and Fossey probably not used to the weather and the cold and the snow, and they dealt with it last year having to shovel the pitch. They got to come back this year and shovel the pitch. I mean, they're starting to. I think they're starting to realize there's something about being that New York tough. You know, and let's talk about Jason. I mean, hey man, it's just like in any sport. You wanna play, you go where you want to play. Um, I think right now in the MLR, because there's only 13 teams and it's so new. Why not go play where you want to play and maybe live where you want to live? And if you've never lived on the West Coast before and they're going to offer you a contract, why not? I mean, let's be honest. It's not as established as 31 teams of the NFL. So like, I think there is a little leeway of not having, let's say, the quote unquote loyalty of it to say, hey, I want to go play with this set of guys or this franchise or this or move there to live your life there and do whatever you want to do there. Um, so I think it's more of, hey man, if you don't want to play here, go play where you want to play. I'll always love Hanko. One, he's a great person, so that's always great.
Yep.
Two, he's an Eagle, so I'll always root for him as an Eagle. Three, he's in the MLR, and if he decides to go somewhere in Europe, I'm still going to root for him. He's traded, but as everybody knows, it's not. Trades aren't what they are like in the NFL. Again, the buying power isn't really with the the team and the player. There's rights. Rights are traded depending on where you're looking to sign and things like that, and depending on your contract, you could have restricted rights or unrestricted rights. So if you have restricted rights, technically you were traded. So it's one of those things. Um, It's really semantics. But I think you're going to see those movements. You're going to see, Sam Windsor coming from Houston, coming to play in New York. It's a big name coming over.
Yep.
That's going to be great. Our kicking game. One guy I'm very sad to see, and this is personally, I was watching Harry Bennett at the Sacramento Express in pro, in pro rugby. I'm just, it's heartbroken almost. Him. Kyle Sumption was another one of those Sacramento Express guys. Oh my God. Oh, friggin' he left Ireland. Oh my God. Oh my God. John Quill. There we go. John Quill, another Sacramento Express guy that I love. That was what you have to realize is, again, for fans who didn't know, before there was MLR, there was this pro rugby iteration called Pro Rugby. And the easternmost team was the Ohio Aviators, which our captain Dylan Fawcett was on. Again, I root for nothing in Ohio. So I found a team that I liked in Sacramento that had cool colors in the Express, and those were my guys. And some of these guys come and ended up playing it for Rudy, and it was very exciting. So it's kind of sad to see them go. But hey, man, he retires. He announces he's the head coach of the UCLA Bruins. And what's the first thing Troy Locklear does? Doesn't even say congratulations, just says go Cal Bears, because the rivals. I love it. You love to see it. But yeah, so I'm a little heartbroken. Harry's not coming back, but we all wish him luck again. Great kicker, great person, has the know-how to be a coach. I mean, he does it honestly. He was a coach out on the field, so this is just one of those natural things that's going to move over. So he's going to be just as successful in coaching as guys like Mike Petrie and Luke Humar. So, although again, personally unhappy, I'm glad he's doing what he wants to do and leaving on his own terms. So you have a couple more guys you want to talk about?
I was going to say the new signings. You kind of already mentioned one, Sam Windsor coming from, the SaberCats, Houston's, leading scorer there coming here. It's going to be, a great offensive addition to this team. The other was going to be Chance Wing Lucy from Atlanta. Another big guy who was a thorn in our side, when we played, ATL. He's going to be, a great, addition to, our front row, and hope maybe even, he plays a little Lucy at some time. He's definitely quick enough. He's got the power. So, definitely, a game changer, and adds to, our pack, which is already a big pack, and we're known for our pack, but it creates another, another offensive and defensive weapon for us. And then Andrew Coe from
that's a
Rugby
good one.
Canada. I'm excited to see him. I think it's crazy. Rooney. I'm still calling him Rooney.
We're always gonna call it Rooney. I don't think you're ever gonna. Yeah, you're not gonna get past it.
It's our lowercase u. That's why. Yeah. In my mind, it's not the big U. It's the lowercase u. NY. So Rugby New York. They've really embraced kind of this like sevens kind of style of rugby, where we've been signing sevens players consistently and giving them a chance to play. And so coming from Rugby Canada, a nice addition. Yeah, kind of broke a little early, I think, because he was playing down in Dubai Sevens, and they're like, oh yeah,
and Rugby Canada broke the story before New York did. I can tell you that seems to happen every season, like to some team, where they're playing that internationally, and they try to break the news. This has happened in 4 years in a row. Not always to Rooney, but to other teams. But it's one of those things where eventually I think everybody will get all their ducks in a row. But it's fun to see. It was like surprising. You're like, hey, we got something.
Yeah.
And you were talking about Rooney coming out with their signings. Just to get Rooney is always late with their signings, just because that's what they're looking to do. They want to give you a Christmas present.
I said Christmas. It was actually Thanksgiving, a nice Thanksgiving present. I was a month off, but still, that's teams were announcing signings in September. I think probably even some in August as well. Mm-hmm. August, September, October, and then by the end of November, all of a sudden we're announcing signings, and it kind of, I know it left me with a giant pit in my stomach. I'm like, all these teams are getting their ducks in a row. I know that we probably have our ducks in a row, but I just wanted to kind of know who we have. It'd be great because you're hoping for the guys like Andy, Nate, Nick, Dylan all coming back, and so that's what we all wanted to see. We're happy we saw that. Unfortunately, like you said, there's some guys like Hanko, a Rugby New York, guy that just isn't coming back.
Mhm.
Will Leonard, another one of those guys being traded off. It's a little heartbreaking, but I think it's all good in the end.
Yeah, I think I got a tour of the Rooney offices and the training spot, which is down in Jersey City. I don't think we'll be playing at the field in Jersey City, but that's where they're headquartered. And got to go down there. They really like when we talk about the iron workers and all that. It's an old building with old wood flooring and the wrought iron I beams sticking out and really like Rocky-esque of a place to train. But I think that's what you want, right? You want to have
Yep.
you want to train inside the mindset you want, and you're going to curate it that way. And I'll tell you, watching the guys do the drills and getting there, and don't get me wrong, it's modern in the fact that it has a training room and it has a prep room and it has a meeting room for tape and all that stuff. But like where the training takes place and putting the weights on and doing the drills is has that feel. And I think you'll have guys Caleb Geiger coming back. He was a pickup last year for medical as Wilton Rabolo, not medical, to cover Wilton Rabolo when
Yep.
Wilton did his stint with Rugby Brazil. And I love to tell this story. First day at practice, Caleb comes in. Caleb is a D2 Division 2 football player out of college, playing, I believe it was linebacker, middle linebacker, and he was playing for the American Raptors. He's learning hooker. Two stories about him. The first one was comes into the weight room, lets all the forwards do bench. Then he takes off all the weight that's on there and then adds just like 745s to it and starts repping 235 like it's nobody's business. And I was told that one of the props just like threw up his hands and walked out because they're not used to that style of fitness, you know what I mean? And he's a gym rat type of guy. And then the other thing I heard, and this is a quote from our buddy Dylan Fawcett, he was amazed at how quickly he understood the plays coming right in. And I think that's another mindset that foreign rugby players might not understand. When you're playing American football, you have to know a 50-page playbook. So you've already been trained, especially if you played in a big program in high school and then through college, to kind of memorize the plays. So Dylan was like, man, this kid like knew him. Was his accuracy on the throws the best? No, but that's what you're working on in practice. But he understood the game, he understood the plays, he understood where he should be. And it'll get there, and there's a reason that they're keeping him. You're gonna wait. You didn't get to see him that much. I think he did score one try along with Max Stacey. I believe Max Stacey's coming back. I'm not sure. But that was another guy that I was very excited about, a young lock that, American, both of these guys are North American positions like Andrew Coe. I would suggest follow Andrew on social media. He's a big foodie and he's doing his New York food tour right now. And he's going to all these places. So that's one of those social media accounts you should follow for the team. So, let's see. Jason's asking when the new kits are coming out. I don't know. We had Kitmas last year. I don't know if that was just because of the way everything went as far as timing. Geiger played for, I don't know, Doug. I'm pretty sure he was on Rooney. I'm pretty sure he was in the match day 23. I think the last match or the second to last match. So I'm going to fight you on that one, Doug. Our buddy Doug Coyle, follow DJ Coyle Rugby if you want up to date MLR news and Rugby Canada and Eagles news. But I'm going to correct. I think I'm going to correct Doug on this one, and we'll fight about it next time we see each other because I'm pretty sure he was on the match day 23 for either the second to last home match or the last home match. Guys, we're done right now for this first episode of season 3. We're very excited. We have so much information we want to talk about. So many more guys we want to talk about. We want to talk about the schedules and things like that. And go through everything. And Jadison, I'm telling you, I swear to God, I was there and I saw him on the field. I don't know why I remember him there and scoring a try. I for whatever reason, I remember him scoring a try on the field, but maybe it was the academy and I'm just confusing the two. But yeah, so, Jasmine and Doug trying to shout me out. Hey guys, I know you're jealous. You watch your own show, Jazz and Doug, the Jazz and Doug Rugby New York show. I'm messing around with Doug and Jazz. They're awesome people. So when you come out to matches, come say hi to me, come say hi to Mike, come say hi to Jasmine, and come say hi to Doug. Come say hi to our buddy Jason. John Tembush is another guy you want to say hi to. Come meet the people we talk to and talk about and talk with. In the group. Follow us on the Facebook group. Check us out at Rudy Fans on all social media. Get your season tickets. We're gonna talk about the kits when they come out, and how my wife won't let me buy anymore. We're going to talk about the schedules, the best games we think are going to have. What maybe we could try and make something where we're going to go to a match or two. I was trying to make my way down to middle of the season, unfortunately, couldn't do it. Our buddy Rich Kane showing up now. What's up, Richie? And Jason, thank you very much. We enjoy doing this for you. I'm the big guy, Scott Ferrara. That's Mike the Grand Poobah Perrazini. This is Rooster Booster time, and we'll see y'all next week.